Trever, Aeon. I'm gonna break my foot off in your ass.
Hello, and welcome back. Our team has recently descended into the Underdark and started poking around. We face minotaurs, a spectator, a landshark, oh my, and also some fish. In a buried Selûnite temple, we found a book referring to the Night Song. It was not in that temple, but it apparently is in a Sharan temple somewhere in the vicinity of Moonrise Towers, where we are already planning to go. Among the drow that had been apparently turned to stone by an errant spectator, one that fell in the battle had a memory stone that revealed the location of a fabled adamantine forge. And of course, it is to the Underdark that we have come, though we have yet to find the path towards Moonrise Towers, so explore more we must. We see evidence here of a structure up ahead. We're going to poke around in the area before crossing that threshold, and then we will see what lies beyond the open doorway.
Have to keep going.
Action, not reaction.
Let's move. Wish I had a bag of holding. Need to find a way forward.
From here, we can see there are some other structures past these stalagmites. So, if this area doesn't pan out, that's probably the next place we'll look.
Oh, action, not reaction. Chaka.
I've got a long road ahead. Always room for more. A perfect ring of much pretty, but it doesn't do much. Another step forward. Half this drow's body's been crushed. Must have fallen from pretty high up.
Trever doesn't find anything worth noting upon a quick skim of this book.
Better take a closer look.
Between that drow looking like it had fallen from a great height, and noticing that some of these mushrooms did not hold up to examination, this feels like a good time to put on a featherfall.
Let's get going. Hiding in plain sight. Better take a closer look. Damn! Some of these mushrooms are illusions.
A long way to go still.
Still breathing, despite everything. For me. much farther can I go? Another illusion. Is anything real down here?
Trever has seen something similar to this before, but this is not reacting to him or communicating telepathically the way the gnarled door in Auntie Ethel's lair did. With no obvious path, of course he defaults to brute strength. This thing appears to be quite tough. Perhaps the maul can make the difference. Trever relents, and must admit that he doesn't quite have the strength to break this down right now. It shall remain a mystery, to which he may return later if he gains more power. Going through an archway just feels like a good spot for Shovel to scout ahead. Shovel reports that there is a courtyard area with a couple of arcane turrets set up to be pointed at incoming creatures. That leads up to the door of a massive tower. Trever moves up to see if he can get a bead on just what those turrets are without being spotted. They do look sturdy, but their resistances do not include bludgeoning. So if he takes an elixir of the Colossus, his damage will be enough to destroy them, and he just needs to get there.
I can't afford to fail. Need to tread softly.
To that end, Shadowheart will prepare an invisibility for him.
Let's see. Burn marks. It's not from someone's campfire either. Best be careful.
Keeping my head down. Wonder if the gods are watching me.
Trever will make use of his invisibility and get behind the further turret.
Don't want to draw any attention.
That went pretty well, and the other turret didn't even turn around, allowing him to get the jump on that one too.
Boots have seen everything. Out of sight, out of mind. Free for the taking. Bet that will fit in my pack. On my way. Don't mind if I do.
That might be worth a look.
This appears to be a kind of lost, longing love letter from someone named Lenore, and the reply of a missed connection. Trever can appreciate it in the way he might appreciate the drama of a play, but it doesn't provide any useful, immediate information.
What's hiding here?
Medium toughness and no vulnerability? Trever will look for a high drop-off. Slashing vulnerability makes this door Karlach's job.
Well, well, well. Well, well. Look what we have here.
No one's stopped me yet.
This next section really highlights the difference between Trevor's action when he has information versus when he doesn't. Remember how he crafted a plan to take out those first 2 turrets with minimal retaliation? Well,
What do I have to lose?
painful, but he's still standing and they're not.
Whatever it takes.
All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have.
Like its will be done.
What now? Better not be cursed.
From that chest, I can feel it.
Wait. Did that just transform?
This bowl Trever picked up became a spell scroll. We'll be taking objects from this chest one at a time. Mistress Grace is a pair of boots that grant featherfall at will. Trever can already do this, but there could be some value in having access to it with a separate character. We'll go ahead and give it to Lae'zel, just because making use of the boots of striding is a little bit fiddly on her. So, in turn, she will equip the Moondrop pendant over the Silver pendant.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times. Never wanted the easy path. Here goes nothing. What's inside?
This book describes a play, so Trever does have some interest. He particularly pays attention to a twice-circled stanza beginning with, "There is a light in every living thing."
Seems like the owner was quite the literary type. Might be useful. Looks like some kind of magical contraption. Now to get it to work.
There appears to be a back courtyard as well. Of course, his first thought is this feels high enough to break the chest he's got. I think it glitched. It was not aimed at the chasm, but I think it fell through the map and has now been lost. Whoops. Trever could look for a way around, but why do that when you've got Featherfall? And, yeah, try as we might, we can't find that chest.
Feels like my magic is getting drained.
These Sucer blooms appear to create a small field of anti-magic. Definitely a curiosity. So, Trever picks them up and carries them around. For now.
I wonder what the next move is.
Still alive, so that's progress. Don't waste a step. Maybe I need more pockets. That might be worth a look.
I'm way too big.
This book talks about the Sucer tree flowers that Trever just picked up, so he actually spends some time reading it. Especially interesting is near the end, where the author talks about using their magical absorption as a source of power.
Death won't take me yet.
Between the book he just read and the blue petals on the floor, the first thing he'll try in this contraption is a Sucer bloom. And that works.
traps, please?
Uncovered Mysteries is an amulet that gives you access to the Detect Thoughts spell once per long rest. Detect Thoughts is a concentration spell that lasts until long rest, or until concentration is broken. While no one in the party has the raw intelligence to really make use of that spell, it does give Lae'zel a line of having something she can concentrate on continuously for use along with those boots of striding.
Oh, enough waiting. I crave blood. Virtus excientia.
I have a lot on my mind. And, well, in it. Let's see what this does. I'll take that.
It's a shame most of this play appears ruined, but Trever notes what's still legible.
What's in here?
This is a disc that can decrypt ancient Gith dialects. Could be useful, especially if we do end up going to a creche like Lae'zel wants. This strip of paper looks like it may have once been part of a longer poem, but only 2 lines are still legible. This poem makes many references to the Grey. By its context and the mentions of tentacles, Trever presumes it's about mind flayers. This book is a more detailed history of Gith and mind flayers. It might be useful for closer study, but later, and probably by Gale. For now, he pockets it. Trever isn't very interested in the letter until it mentions a Beulah as a pet. Then he reads the entire thing. This Lenore person apparently tamed the damn thing. She must have been pretty powerful. And it appears to have come after the tragic loss of another pet named Myrna. A sad tale. This is a full-on play, and Trever gets caught up reading it for a minute, though he does manage to put it down after he finishes reading the prologue. He'll get more into it another time.
The disc appears in your mind's eye. Lae'zel sees it too, and considers the vision.
Tissue markings. Ancient. I recognize them, but I can't make sense. No. Wait. The texts are enciphered, but I've solved the pattern. It's a story. About Orpheus.
Your head buzzes in concert with Lae'zel's, but it hardly matters. Even without the connection, you'd recognize her discomfort.
Trever asks who this Orpheus is.
A traitor. A dead one. This text is heresy. I can hardly bear to read it, let alone speak it.
Trever does want to know, but he just got the cipher, so he can probably figure it out himself, and tells Lae'zel she can keep it to herself.
It is for the best.
Once again, your mind opens to Lae'zel, and she considers the disc.
More writings on Orpheus, the so-called Prince of the Comet.
I was trying to see if it would let me just decipher it now, but it looks like Lae'zel automatically joins the conversation while she's here.
Good. Let that be the end of it.
Trever will save it for when he's alone.
Such a strange disc. Are these Githyanki markings? Lae'zel might know. Strange place for a button. Especially one that doesn't work.
The Mage's Friend is a ring that grants +1 to the Arcana and Religion skills. This is not a high priority ring, but we have open slots, so we'll give it to Shadowheart for now.
I must keep going.
Never a dull moment. If not over, then through. I spy with my little eye. Nothing of note, really.
You sound so like oppression, right? Is it the foe? A foul, contemptuous heel?
Trever immediately recognizes this line as one from The Roads to Darkness, the full play he found within the tower, and replies with the next line in the script. Or art thou, friend, a rescue from my lonely wake?
Come out of love for me, not love for blood and steel. Come on as you feel, my lord, my liege.
Command, it says. But aside from that, it has only spoken in lines from that play, prompt and response. So, Trever tries a line from one of the other written works, one of the artistic ones, not a tome of lore. How about the one that was blotted with tears? The silence stretches on, I'm all alone. Please, can I hold your hands for just a while?
Of course, my love. Don't be afraid, sweet girl. What can I do? Sorry, would you like a hug?
Interesting, but Trever isn't really looking for a hug from an automaton.
You're strong. You're stronger than you ever knew. Remember, I'm always here for you, and you will never walk this path alone. as you see fit, my lord, my liege.
This is great fun for Trever. There was another book with only a few lines legible that looked to be an excerpt from a poem. How can I trust? How can I ever know? How can I show myself my darkest me?
If you know the deepest secret show, reveal the truth. Do what you wish to see.
And Bernard gives us Guiding Light, a ring with the light cantrip.
Command as you see fit, my lord, my liege.
Finally, there was, right in the tower's entrance, a play script with a circled stanza. There is a light in every living thing. It's crawling towards the surface to survive.
And in its wake, it tramples everything. Will kill the rest, so that the one can thrive.
Lots of resistances, including all physical damage. Legendary action, Leaping Static. Once per round, Bernard can spend a legendary action to immediately launch a Leaping Static at a foe after being attacked. He can multi-attack while under the effects of his Static Discharge aura. Magical Plate, reducing all damage by 1, and that's after halving for resistance. We are a tad spread out, but Shadowheart will try the potion trick. And only get herself.
Swift and lethal.
Karlach will Bear Rage to fill her tank role by sucking up the opportunity attack.
Time to strike.
Giving Lae'zel the latitude to get away and try a banishing arrow, since Bernard's charisma is very low. Perfect! That will give us some breathing room to start working on the minions.
So much for peace.
Trever will also rage. And he finds a spot that he can throw this automaton off the tower.
I'm heating up.
that.
Cheeky little shove off the tower for this automaton. Trever can't make it into melee range with anyone, but there's a wooden barrel here he can throw at someone.
Maybe not the best time.
I guess that's the danger of using large projectiles. It broke apart on the terrain before it reached the animated armor.
On the move.
Bernard is back, but half the armors are gone at least.
Can't slow down.
Watch this.
Victory awaits. Let my name be known.
And now the animated armors are all but gone, leaving us to gang up on Bernard by himself.
smell blood.
I can't even catch my breath. Let's get this over with.
Victory awaits. No time to waste.
Lae'zel used up all her arcane arrow resources and her action surge trying to blind Bernard with a shadow arrow. It would have been amazing if it worked, so I don't regret the decision. The duration on Bernard's static discharge aura expired, which stuns him for 2 turns. This is a very nice reprieve.
This. Time to strike.
That was Bernard's second round of stunning passed. He's alert again, but we still get another round of attacks to finish him off before he can turn his aura back on and attack us.
I am death.
Never a dull moment.
No word.
A welcome rest.
Light of Creation is a halberd with a +1 enhancement bonus that carries an additional 1d6 lightning damage. Usually, when an elemental damage is on a weapon, it's only 1d4. For this benefit, however, there is a big downside. It has the feature Overcharge, such that anyone who wields it has a chance of being stunned unless they themselves are a construct. For this reason, in my opinion, it is not worth using the Light of Creation. In the corner here is a very interestingly named item, the Stool of Hill Giant Strength.
And these things have stayed interesting. Time to press ahead.
Indolence breeds madness. What is this? Power. The power's gone. A most vexing chair. It is no silver sword, but that chair leg may be a useful weapon.
Can't give up now.
Once the stool has been broken, its leg becomes a club of Hill's Giant Strength. There's no enhancement bonus, but the wielder is treated to a static strength score of 19. There are potential uses for such an item. For example, the wielder of the Titan String Bow could equip it and apply that increased strength damage to their bow shots. However, in our case, there's no way Lae'zel is going to give up a silver sword for that. Still, it's worth keeping around.
Maybe I need...
There's a small poem on this parchment. For the record, if you read this and then talk to Bernard, you can use a line from it, and he will give you his greater healing potion without needing to fight him.
My faith will guide me.
Just because we have open ring slots, someone may as well put on the guiding light ring.
Eager for battle. Not a single act wasted. A button. Of course. Revealed by the ring's magic.
What to do? Very well. Don't mind if I do. Open up.
On a quick skim, Trever doesn't see anything worthwhile in this diary. The Sparks Wall is a ring that grants resistance to lightning damage in general, and also makes it so the wearer cannot be electrocuted. The Staff of Arcane Blessing is a very interesting item. It grants access to the Bless spell, which arcane casters typically do not have, but also it has the Mistra's Blessing feature. The wording here is a little misleading. They use the word additional, which makes you think it stacks with a normal Bless, but it doesn't do that. If you use Bless while wielding the staff, the total benefit is 1d4 to saving throws and weapon attacks, and 2d4 to spell attack rolls. This is still very nice for a character that is making plenty of its spell attacks and not otherwise using their concentration.
Here we go.
Trever goes bored with this text very quickly.
The ready.
So we're pretty much done with this tower. No path to Moonrise here. The next place we wish to check out is that village we saw through the stalagmites. I'll join you there.
A camp. Looks abandoned. Nothing but rocks. That's curious. Bet that will fit in my pack. What creatures live in waters this dark? Let's have a look.
Too loud, sun scum. Heard you stumbling. Can hear you blinking. Noise gets you eaten down here. Reckon I'll hush you before something hungry comes along.
His gnarled fist grips an axe.
Trever meets hostility in kind. Barbarian intimidation. You back down, or bleed.
Fine. I'll let you live. But spoil my hunt, and you're dead.
Trever inquires about the local terrain. Any information this dark dwarf can share?
Share? You really are in the wrong place, sun scum. Try this for useful. Falling down a deep, dark hole is the kindest death you'll find in the Underdark.
Alright, fine. Trever asks just what he's doing here.
Told you. Hunting. Slave ran away. Took Sergeant Thrin's boots. Gotta kill the slave and fetch back the leather. Or the bosses in Moonrise will have Thrin's hide.
Slavers. Trever signals Shadowheart to begin the assault. No mercy for slavers. In certain circumstances, silence is my favorite way to pick a fight. It's a ritual spell, so it doesn't take a spell slot outside of combat. It pisses off the enemies, it makes them go hostile, and...
Your violence hasn't gone unnoticed. It's about to be returned in kind.
It's not a damage spell, so you can see that on the first round, Shadowheart still has her action available.
Got to focus.
Shadowheart tries to catch 3 of us with a potion trick for the buffs. Ah well, if she's only going to hit one other person, it's good for that to be Lae'zel because of the sharpshooter attack penalty.
Moving.
And that motherfucker has counterspell. Noted. Also noteworthy, he was able to do it within the silence sphere because silence does not shut down reaction spells.
Should get started.
A jump to the ladder and still not able to reach melee with Trever. Ah well. Grease bottle? Lae'zel tries her luck with a couple of rolling thunder arrows here, but during editing I can see that this novice is not as close to the water as I thought he was.
hammer's gonna fall.
Die, so your carcass can rise.
Nothing important is ever easy. Time to press ahead.
Trevor's actions screwed himself over when trying to get to Gek, so instead... a bottle of grease down at those other enemies on the ground.
Let's finish this.
This is a good time for a big spell from Shadowheart, in part because, with careful placement, she can hit 4 enemies with a glyph of warding. Since the grease bottle did nothing, may as well turn it into a burning surface while we're at it. Lae'zel uses her action surge here because it's a good chance she can finish off an enemy with it.
I wonder if this is worth the cost.
I'm ready.
And of course, Karlach doesn't mind being caught in burning surfaces so much, so creating these hazards for the zombies is on balance positive. Enough ladders have been destroyed, Karlak, and everyone else on the ground,
Over there.
will have to take the long way around.
Survival is all that matters.
On the move.
Or Misty Step.
It's alleyway.
Tactical.
On my way.
Another fight. Let's go. Have to keep going.
I will ascend.
Well, well. Look what we have here.
And of course, slavers get the special post-combat finish 'em off treatment.
Blood follows me everywhere.
Logs and expedition notes. Trever is not interested.
That one later. Is that blood? No, never mind. Anything of use?
The Exterminator's axe is a great axe with no enhancement bonus, but it does deal an additional 1d6 fire damage to plants, insects, and small creatures. That's a wide enough variety, it could be worth at least hanging on to.
Might be useful. Seems simple enough.
This diary has a couple names we've heard before. Back in the Goblin Village, that gnome who called himself Barkus was looking for his friend Wulbren. Well, it looks like Wulbren hasn't forgotten about Barkus either. This journal mentions gems, which Trever likes, but seems more invested in their properties than their value, which Trever gets bored with. A Duergar boat, eh? Well, that's Trevor's boat now, though he's not keen to go randomly floating off into the Underdark. He's still got a path to Moonrise to find. While scavenging the area, Trever notes he's far enough away from Lae'zel he can maybe decrypt that Githyanki disc on his own.
The disc is formed from slate and engraved with Githyanki writing. You examine them closely, but can't make much sense of them. Using the cipher you found, you might be able to reveal the disc's meaning.
He will call Shadowheart over for some guidance.
Onward then.
For which, he'll need to send those Susur blooms away. In all honesty, he wasn't happy with how they prevented him from getting thaumaturgy or guidance during dialogue either, so storing them is probably best for now anyway.
You need some support.
With guidance up, he will investigate the patterns on the writing.
No matter how hard you try, you can't make any sense of the symbols. You should take the disc to Lae'zel. She might know more about it.
He wanted to do it himself, but okay, fine. He'll use the cipher.
A pattern forms as you gaze at the disc, and from within that pattern, a story emerges. The Prince of the Comet, Part 1. So it was that we were free from Gake shackles and turned our blades on each other. The heavens were shattered, and one great empire was divided in two. Gith traveled to the Hells to broker help for her people, her cause. Vlaakith would have you believe Mother Gith proclaimed her our queen. Lies. Gith made no such proclamation. Vlaakith seized the empire against the mother's wishes, but Gith had nurtured a son, Orpheus, Prince of the Comet, the true heir. He knew Vlaakith's treachery. Orpheus rallied Gith's honor guard and declared the throne for himself. the War of the Comet had begun. It's an intriguing tale, and a forbidden one, given how expertly it was encoded. Lae'zel will surely want to know of this.
Great. Now he knows the story, and he didn't have to annoy Lae'zel. Trever is satisfied.
All for me.
From here, it looks like our best plan is to go east to try to reconnect our paths so that we can decide where to explore next.
What's inside?
The Crooked Wand of Fireballs. It's funny that it recharges on a short rest because this is a single-use item, though that disparity makes more sense when you consider that this item has been damaged. It was a Wand of Fireballs, but now the fireball will be centered on you, and the wand will break itself in the process. This is exactly the kind of reckless nonsense our party seems to exult in. I'll give it to Karlach in a bit. She'll carry it with her resistance to fire, and one day she will let it loose. The Short Sword of First Blood does not have an enhancement bonus, but does deal an extra D8 piercing damage to targets that still have all their hit points. This makes it okay for first strikes, after which it's a normal short sword, though it does have a special use case against targets with lots of temporary hit points, where it will carve through those faster until they are depleted. I'll go ahead and send it to Astarion as an option.
Corpses. These creatures did battle with Dwergar.
It looks like we want to look for an opportunity to turn right in order to reconnect with our known path. You know, these mushrooms look sturdy enough to navigate, and they're growing in the right direction for our goal. Let's see if this bears fruit. Uh-oh. We recognize that rumbling by now, don't we?
My face protects me.
Blackets will be done.
Soldier. Let's ride.
LANDSHARK! And Trever gets knocked into the chasm off screen. Brutal. For sure, Karlach is going to rage and attack.
Watch this.
But before ending her turn, let's get the others at least involved in the battle.
No time to waste. Keep low and quiet.
Blackets will be done.
Lae'zel's first priority will be to blind the thing. Nice. Now to unload.
No time to waste.
Cloak and dagger, my favorite. What's next? Quiet as a mouse. I'm ready. Unnoticed. Good.
I was trying to stop the Bulette from fleeing with command, but I have since learned that command will not prevent it from burrowing.
Put him up. I am fury. I am death.
Action surge. Pile on as much as possible. Similar to command, I was trying to stop it from fleeing here as well, but I think even frightened would not have worked.
I will ascend.
Let's end this.
I will ascend.
Motherfucker. Escaped at a single hit point. And now that we have to revive Trever, we're definitely going to have to long rest.
It's been a long day. Better stop to rest. Take you.
As a side note, the last time Trever died was to the Githyanki patrol on the Risen Road. That was before we went to the Goblin camp, which means he has now died for the first time since getting Leviatar's love. And now that permanent buff is gone.
Words are too much to bear. All's well that ends. Not as bad as it could have. Always room for more.
At least from here it should be clear to get to the Cellionite outpost where we can rest.
Let's see.
to those? Assume nothing.
This will do.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times. I'll take that. Cursed to put my hands on everything.
A slender drow blade impales the stone before you, keeping a silent vigil.
Of course, Trevor's first instinct is to just pull it out.
It feels like you're warring with 10 people for the blade. With another hard yank, the weapon slips free from the stone.
Falar Aluv. It is a +1 longsword, but unlike most longswords, it has the finesse attribute. It gives +1 to performance, but also, and more to the point, it has this Falar Aluv melody ability. This has two versions. One where you more or less bless nearby allies, and one where you cause enemies close to you to take additional thunder damage every time they are hit. In my opinion, this is a great weapon for the way I've built Shadowheart. She's proficient due to her half-elf race, and her dexterity is 16, so she can really make use of this versatile weapon that has finesse. And she's decently armored, so she doesn't mind being close to enemies for the melody ability to grant its benefits. Alright, we're close enough to the fortress. I'll just meet you at camp for our long rest.
You carry a Githyanki relic. I will have an explanation, or your head.
Walk away. Now. I won't warn you again.
What is this shit now? Trevor is exasperated already. This is about the artifact, isn't it?
That artifact is an heirloom of my people. Likely she spilled Githyanki blood in order to steal it. This cannot stand.
Heirloom? Plunder from some conquered realm, more like. This artifact is the only thing keeping us from becoming slaves to our parasites. Be glad I have it.
Trevor does not need infighting in camp. He demands they figure out a way to settle this.
The bad blood must be purged. A jewel come first light.
You mean I'd get to prove you wrong and thrash you? I love it. Get some rest, Lae'zel. You'll need it. You had every chance to look the other way. But here we are. You chose this.
Spare me the justifications, coward.
If anyone asks, I'll say you were transforming. Don't expect to be mourned.
Shadowheart just lost a lot of Trevor's respect for this cowardly move, but she does have an advantageous position. He tries to convince her to stop using reason.
She's a liability. It's the artifact we need, not her.
Let me up, and I'll show you.
Trevor gives Shadowheart a very minor dressing down here. We do need Lae'zel. Let her up.
Can I do that, Lae'zel? Can I turn my back on you?
Never. Thieves aren't afforded such luxury.
Loosen the grip on your pride for one blasted moment, won't you? We needn't be enemies. There's plenty of those to go around already.
What would you have? That we be friends?
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But imagine what we might achieve if we channeled some of that hostility back at our real foes, instead of each other. They wouldn't stand a chance.
I'll say one thing for our troop. We're not short on drama. I'm glad Shadowheart and Lae'zel settled their differences peacefully. Eventually.
I hope that's the end of this silly quarrel. They'll have no energy for battling our enemies if Lae'zel and Shadowheart are too busy squabbling among themselves.
Speak.
Trever asks Lae'zel about that quarrel.
It is over where I am concerned.
Trevor's patience is already thin. If they do that again, he'll just kill them both himself.
Yes. I'm sure you believe that. Reality would not reflect your ego, I'm afraid.
Very glad Shadowheart and Lae'zel settled things without letting any blood. I would have enjoyed the spectacle, but not losing either one of those lunatics.
Oh, I really thought Shadowheart and Lae'zel might fight to the death over that artifact. A pity. It would have made for a fine night's entertainment.
Lady of Sorrows, guide us. Did you want something?
And now Trever asks Shadowheart her side of what happened.
We aren't dear friends now, if that's what you're asking. But I trust we can all sleep a little more soundly in camp now.
Trevor's not playing favorites. He's keeping an eye on both of them, ready to break a foot off in their asses if they fight again.
Relax. We'll kiss and make up on our own time. Someone prodding at a newly opened wound doesn't help matters.
I'll give it a shot.
What's next, I wonder? So, have we buried the hatchet, Lae'zel?
No. Why would I bury a weapon? Is it broken?
It's a metaphor.
I do not know your metaphor, but if you need help digging, I will find a shovel.
No one back home will ever believe this.
Overnight, Shadowheart had an idea that might destroy that one door we saw. Off camera, I attempted a few other damage types with cantrips and weapons to see if I could find something the door was vulnerable to, but no dice. On average, though, a fireball would be more likely than not to get past its toughness by a decent margin. Trever gives her the go-ahead and... Guess not. Fireball either rolled too low, or maybe it's resistant to fire, or maybe area of effect damage didn't affect the door at all. Our party will pay for this experiment by being down that 3rd level spell slot for the rest of the day. Also known as for the next video.
Best be on my way.
So next episode, we will branch out in this direction from the Selûnite Temple, following this wall around to see where it takes us. Trever isn't terribly happy about that, especially since that's the direction another voice in his head came from. But we still need to find the path to Moonrise. If nothing else, he'll bite the bullet and see what's over there. Alright, see you then. Have a good one.